college football season. I'm Dan Gutowski, joined by Ryan Cavanaugh. Ryan, both of these teams gave up a lot of points last week, but for Eastern Michigan, they've really got some work to do.
Well, I'm just happy I'm not a player on the defensive side of the ball in meetings all week, because defensive coordinator Ben Needham was not happy and didn't find a lot of positives from last week's performance for the Eagles. However, it's college football, which means tonight they have an opportunity to fix the mistakes from last Saturday.
Long Island took a shutout loss at Florida last week. Their offense has to improve tonight.
Well, Ethan Greenwood is their quarterback, and he has to have a big day. He didn't have the performance in the opening week that he wanted, but as you mentioned, a lot of that could have to do with playing Florida in the swamp. Greenwood last year ran and threw for almost 1,000 yards each. He's a dynamic player, and this afternoon, it's going to be critical that he takes care of the football, because you will see a lot of read option from Greenwood.
Let's bring it back here. Eastern Michigan, in contrast, was much better offensively at Texas State.
Well, Noah Kim's a big reason for that. He is a college quarterback that's played at a couple spots, played in some really big games, but through week one with the Eagles, it looks like he's settled and he's found his new home. The Eagles staff has raved all week about his composure and his understanding of the offense. And as his understanding of the depth of the offense continues to grow, I think Kim is going to take major strides throughout the season.
Ryan, this could be a good thing for Eastern Michigan. Last week they played in brutal Texas heat. Today, much more football friendly, much cooler here in Ypsilanti, and we have no threat of rain. Everything is looking good on that front. Opening kickoff, Long Island wins the coin toss. Eastern Michigan's going to go on offense first, so the Sharks will start with the ball in the second half, and we are good to go with football tonight here at the factory.
Good to be back with you, partner.
You know it, brother. And again, if last week was an indication, we're going to see a lot of points here tonight. We'll see what the Eagles can show in week 2 that they didn't show in week 1. The theme last week in practice, or this week in practice, Ryan, was missed tackles. Eastern Michigan had them in bunches last week. That was the emphasis. They don't want to hear missed tackles anymore, especially tonight. So we are good to go. Long Island's Lance Mayberg will put toe to leather, and we will get it on here at Eastern Michigan. High kick taken at the 5, and a nice little return there outside the 25 for Ben Prosper. And EMU with Noah Kim stepping in. This guy's been around Michigan State, Coastal Carolina last year. And again, for the coordinators, it's hard to work with new quarterbacks every year, but Eastern likes the talent level
Offside.
that Noah's got.
Kicking team, number 1. That 5-yard penalty will be added to the end of the run. First down.
So that's
Eastern Michigan.
It's our first announcement from referee Gregory Gompf. So early on, we've got our first flag, and that's going to move Eastern up a few yards.
I am surprised there's not more offsides on kicking, like kickoffs, because they're all running and they're all moving at different paces. The time up that kick seems very difficult to me, but you also rarely see flags on it, Dan.
EMU on the ground, and nothing there on the first carry of the game. That's kind of a big fat nothing burger for Eastern Michigan's Tavier Dunlap. And we've already got an injured player on the turf for Long Island.
Officials timeout for injury.
We're going to take a timeout here and address the injury. No score. We're underway here at Eastern Michigan.
You know, I wanted to speak a little bit about Noah Kim that you mentioned earlier. Last week was the first touchdown pass for Eastern Michigan, but it was the third FBS school, third different school that Noah Kim has thrown a touchdown for. You mentioned Michigan State, where he played a lot of big games there, and then Coastal Carolina, where he was last year. And on that quarterback topic, we talked to Coach Creighton. This is since 2017. Every single year he's had a new quarterback, and the majority of the time it's somebody who transfers in. And that's something we could talk about throughout the night as it goes on, Dan. But the familiarity of the offense for his quarterback, Noah Kim's been picking up on it quickly.
That was Kesney Brown who walked off under his own power. And Kim throwing here. A little underneath throw, complete to Lockett. Lockett getting close to the 40 for positive yardage for EMU.
Lockett's a guy that they really want to get involved in this offense. And I talked about familiarity with an offense. Both Kim and Terry Lockett Jr. played together at Michigan State. So this is a bit of a reunion for these two. And I look for Kim, when in trouble, to look for number 2, Terry Lockett Jr.
Empty backfield for Kim. And the Eagles keep it on the ground, and they don't get about 5 yards or so. Solid tackling there by Long Island.
This is Fasolini, Raphael, number 20. Look at him come, fill the hole, get low, and drive Noah Kim back. Fasolini last week, all he did was 9 tackles and 4 tackles for loss against Florida. And you see that aggressiveness and the ability to read that allows him to get up into the offensive backfield.
Yeah, not enough for the first down, so the Eagles are 3 and out on their opening drive. I think they wanted to catch the Sharks off balance, but here's the punt. And that is a very good-looking punt, and fair catch at the 10-yard line. So the Eagles get a good punt, and the Sharks get the ball on offense. And you got to think Long Island. Let's reflect back to last week, Ryan. They're in the swamp, about 90,000 plus. That is a big, big stage to play on. Certainly not 90,000 here today. So whatever growing pains Ethan Greenwood went through last week offensively, you got to think they're going to take some steps forward tonight.
Well, it'll be easier for him to communicate with his offense without 90,000 people screaming at him.
On the ground and nowhere to go. That's Cam Ingram on the carry. Llewellyn, one of the tacklers for EMU. Eastern crashing hard.
Dan, last week, Long Island intentionally played 3 quarterbacks in the first 3 snaps. On the first snap here, we just saw Lucas Tazzani, number 11, under center. And I think Tazzani is next to Greenwood in the backfield.
Talk about unconventional. They're going to throw on second down, and it's knocked away. Chris Howell on that throw, but incomplete. So the Sharks cannot convert on that play.
Well, this is Chris Howell throwing the football. We expected to see Ethan Greenwood. We've now seen Lucas Tazzani and Chris Howell both in a quarterback. And let's see who
eventually he'll get there, right?
Well, he's there now. He's calling the plays that come out of the huddle. So our first opportunity to see Ethan Greenwood under center, or at least behind center.
Rush is coming, and he escapes the rush and plows ahead for a Long Island. I don't know if he got it or not, but he's pretty close.
Yeah, the extra effort, Dan, twisting and turning, fell over the line. Look at this job. And when you have a dual threat quarterback like Greenwood is on Eastern Michigan, you got to keep your eyes on him. So here, when he breaks the pocket, huge block by Grayson Lewis. Look at Grayson Lewis just steamroll the linebacker, and that allows Greenwood to get the first down yardage.
11 yards on the run. And now we're going to have a
Thrown on the field was a runner made the line of game.
stoppage of play. We're going to measure it again. Make sure that he got to the first down marker.
Look at number 75 in the middle. Greenwood actually gives Grayson Lewis a push right there, and he just rolls over Paterno. And then Greenwood kind of follows him for the first down yards. Look at the push with the left hand. Greenwood's a tough kid to bring down. Florida had a lot of trouble with Greenwood when he ran the option last week. The majority of his option runs will be read, where he's looking at a defender and he's relying on the defender the defender's movements to determine whether Greenwood keeps it or pitches it.
And I'm not sure if they're going to check and see if maybe his knee hit the ground first before his progress stopped. That's usually kind of where these things go. But let's hear it officially.
The ruling on the field is upheld. First down, Long Island.
So nothing changes. And we play on here in this first quarter. Eastern Michigan 3 and out on their first offensive possession. And the Sharks are trying to make a little noise here in this first quarter. Let's see if the revolving door of quarterbacks is settled in for Long Island. Throwing and completing in the middle on that first down. They go right in the middle. And Evan Brooks is on the reception there. Sharp throw, good catch for 15 yards.
There's a lot of dressing going on with the motion and the play fake, but at the end of the day, it's a simple slant route. Evan Brooks beats his man on the in-breaking route, and Greenwood puts it right on him.
Ball at the 35-yard line. The Sharks are on the move. They started at their own 10. Play fake and running up the middle. Big seam there for Greenwood. He is up the sideline. He will get all of it. Touchdown, Long Island. Oh. I'd say for 65 yards and the touchdown, that guy's going to hold that job and that position the rest of today.
Well, what's difficult, as I said earlier on the first down run, when you have a running quarterback, you have to be defensively responsible, and that means when the play breaks down, know where he is and contain him. And that time, nothing but Ethan Greenwood, green space, and the end zone. And for a guy who goes 5'11", 200, he was moving.
Well, last week, no points, and they waste no time getting on the scoreboard here at Eastern Michigan. 7-0, the Sharks strike first at Eastern Michigan. 65-yard touchdown run by Ethan Greenwood. The Sharks strike big. Quarterback keeping for big runs. That was a short run. And then the pass completion here, extending their field position. And here's the home run hit. Ethan Greenwood, 65 yards, 90 yards on that drive, Ryan. They only had 86 in the entire game last week in Florida.
Well, 76 of it was Greenwood. So I would say if you're Long Island and you're sitting on the sideline with your offense, you have to be feeling very good about where you're at, especially as you pointed out, the ineffectiveness last week against Florida has not shown up yet tonight.
What a difference a week makes for Long Island. They took their lumps last week. Today they're looking for maybe vent things out a little bit, and caught at the 5. And here's a little hit on that return. Ben Prosper. So the Eagles are going to set up shop. It's Javen Norman on the return for Eastern. Eagles are going to set up shop. You know, this is not a good start. They went 3 and out. Now you're in a 7-0 hole. I mean, Noah Kim can handle this, and, you know, Eastern's not going to get rattled, but they certainly want to make this a productive series. And they carry on the ground. The Sharks are there to swallow up Joey Mattard. Dante McMillan, the one on the ball carry correction.
McMillan's transfer from Weber State. Did a lot of work there. He's waiting to make his imprint on the Eastern Michigan football team.
Empty backfield and complete in the middle, connecting with Brent Prosper.
Look at Eastern Michigan's going quick, staying on the football. We'll see how quick they snap it.
EMU working quick. Now they slow things down as Kim settles in. Eagles get their first down, but they got to get some more here. They throw opposite side and complete in the seam. Another EMU first down. A zip pass to Joshua Long. And the Eagles move the chains with authority. 13-yard gain there. Play fake, Kim runs and throws. Caught it. Boy, that was a dangerous throw in the air. Nick Devereaux on the catch. Kind of a jump ball, but it's a completion for the Eagles.
Beautiful job by Devereaux to use his hands and go up and attack the football. Took it away from the defender.
Gain of 21. Eastern on the ground, and ball is loose. And the Sharks think they've got it. They're jumping all over. Oh, they're going to scrap for it. Oh, that ball just got knocked sky high.
Fumble recovered by the offense. Second down, Eastern Michigan.
Oh, boy.
I think this is Jalen Bell, number 6, who gets a piece. There he is. Look at number 6 come in, punches the football out from McMillan. And I don't know how
that
Dante McMillan got back on this.
That's like an early Christmas gift there for Long Island. Oh, boy. They're going to wish they could have done that a little differently, but the Eagles are going to stay on the ground. Big hole in the middle, and finally stopped after a few yards. Tavier Dunlap on the run. Eastern gets another first down. They're moving fast, and they're moving efficiently. Dunlap's going to stay in the backfield. He's going to take it up the middle. This time there's not much room. Jeremy McGurn, the linebacker, the first contact hit for the Sharks, who are now back on their heels.
Eastern Michigan last week averaged 4.3 yards per carry, and the goal is 4, and they picked up 4 there. So Coach Pike has to be happy with how they're running the football on this drive.
On the ground. Oh, nothing there at all for Dunlap. 2 white jerseys. Put the clamps on it.
Yeah, I spoke too soon about the pleasure of the running game. That was Breon Askins, fifth-year senior out of Philadelphia, on the hit, along with Scoop Gardner. This defensive line last week against Florida was one of the bright spots for Long Island.
Yeah, you saw Eastern Michigan there in the red zone. They were highly productive last week in that loss in Texas. Kim with some rush, and that was to really nobody.
They had twins with Lockett on the outside and Josh Long, their big tight end, on the inside, and they faked a quick screen to Lockett, and what Long was trying to do is fake the block and go up the sideline, but the defender never let him get free, and that's why there was such a great disparity between where Kim's ball landed and where Josh Long was.
So the field goal attempt coming on right now, a 32-yard kick for Rudy Kessinger. This is right in his wheelhouse, and it is good. The drive stalls, but the Eagles get on the board.
On the field. Medium.
Timeout here at Eastern Michigan. The Sharks lead 7-3.
We had 20, I think it was 27 missed tackles. So that's a lot. You know, I think they had 66 offensive plays. We had more misfits, you know, in terms of assignment and execution than would be considered a, you know, a normal or an average game. So those are fundamental things that have to improve dramatically in order for us to play good defense.
That's Eagles head coach Chris Creighton, who is not much happier right now than he was when he made that statement earlier this week, because a 65-yard touchdown run where Greenwood was not touched is the only touchdown in this game so far. And the Sharks will have the ball again after this ball goes into the end zone. Eastern scoring drive, 10 plays, 58 yards, finished off by the 34-yard field goal from Rudy Kessinger.
You mentioned Greenwood last year. He was second team All-NEC, third team All-American. He ran and threw for almost 1,000 yards, but he didn't take over the quarterback position until conference play. So in the grand scheme of things, limited action in the sense of taking 3 or 4 games off and still putting up those numbers. Big reason why the expectations are so high at Long Island for Ethan Greenwood.
Greenwood handing up the middle, not much there. Maybe a couple of yards on the fall ahead by Cam Ingram.
Marco Paterno, who had 5 tackles last week against Texas State, coming up to make the hit from his linebacker spot. No relation. Spelled differently than
Now,
Joe
it is
Paterno.
spelled differently, right?
Yeah.
Gain of 4 on first down. They're at the 29. And they fake the end around. They throw. Oh, nice ball tipped. Incomplete. Let's give some props. How about Hector Gonzalez getting those meat hooks up there to knock it down?
True freshman Hector Gonzalez, who's gotten into the rotation here. And that's what you say. If you can't get home on the quarterback, get your arms up, get in a passing lane, you have a possibility to do what he just did, which is deflect the pass, brings up 3rd down.
Big play here for Eastern Michigan. They want to get that bad taste from that first drive out of their mouth completely. Greenwood's got a lot of time to throw. Incomplete. Pretty good throw, but the coverage was there. And he was looking right at Jaden Simpson, but could not pull it in.
Yeah, he threw it behind him a little bit. If he puts that ball out in front towards the sidelines, I think that's first down yardage. But when it's on your back shoulder, he had to reach back. And coverage with Caleb Coley, he was behind him, so he was actually in a position to knock it away. A better thrown ball, I don't think he is in position to do that.
Gonzalez standing deep to return, and the punt a little offline, but it takes a Sharks bounce. And there will be no return, and Eastern Michigan is going to start with the ball at their 15-yard line. The Eagles back on offense, trailing 7-3.
Media.
All right, time for the big reveal. Impact players, Ryan, who we got?
I'm just going with people who've already made plays. Terry Lockett Jr., the wide receiver for Eastern Michigan, dynamic, big play wide receiver, and Rafael Fasolino, the tackling machine for the Sharks, already has one. I think it was a TFL.
Yeah, that's a trend I've noticed over the weeks. You always make the impact players after you've seen a couple of series, so you can just kind of cheat.
Right? I wanted to do it after Greenwood's touchdown and say, oh, it's Ethan Greenwood.
Yes, indeed. Kim on first down. He's going to roll out and throw on the run. That's complete in coverage to Terry Lockett. An Eastern first down. Boy, when they hear impact player from you on the field, they deliver.
Well, you know, just it means a little more when I say it.
Did you know your voice carried that far? I don't think so. 16 yards on the gain, and the Eagles go back to work. This time it's Dunlap on the run. He gets the edge and very close to an Eastern first down.
He was very close to hitting that crease and taking off down the sidelines. Tavier Dunlap, who played at Michigan, actually his last game in a Michigan uniform, he scored a touchdown. And the Eagles like his speed on the outside, and they almost allowed Dunlap to show it off.
Eastern Michigan's offense has been very good these last two series after that early 3-and-out. Now they're going to run, and they're going to stay on the ground. Not a whole lot there that time for Dunlap, as he gets taken down close to a first down. It's 3rd and 1.
That's Breon Askins again. That's the second time we've called the defense's end's name. And he's doing a really nice job of penetrating and getting into the offensive backfield, redirecting the running back and getting in on the tackle.
Again, we've seen a lot of this, Ryan. The Eagles will show empty backfield. Now they roll Dunlap right behind Noah Kim on 3rd and 1. Kim's going to go. Enough for a first down, not a big splash, but there it is.
You know, it's interesting when they got to 2nd and 2 after that first yard carry by Dunlap. Usually you expect offensive coordinators to go up top, take a risk, because then you have 3rd down to do a play just like that to get you short yardage. But Coach Pike, offensive coordinator for Eastern Michigan, keeping the ball on the ground.
Kim's got some time now. He just unloads, and he gets drilled. That's Dunlap on the catch, but that was just going to be a whole lot of nothing, and Long Island is right there to put the hammer down.
Nice play by Elijah Casey on the outside.
Good pressure up the middle, and that is a nothing. Well, they're going to lose yards. 3 yards on that play brings up 2nd and 13.
Yeah, Kim was in trouble, and that was an emergency toss, but Casey was right on him.
Play fake. Kim looking, finding nobody, and throws it away. He had Terry Lockett in the area, but that was well defended in the secondary by the Sharks.
Well, I think Noah Kim did a good job of extending the play. What I'd like to see is for some of those wide receivers to realize how far outside the pocket he is, how much duress he's under, and start working back to break off your route and work back to the quarterback and give Noah Kim a target.
That's kind of a chemistry issue between quarterback and receiver. That receiver has to recognize when there's duress and movement by the quarterback, you got to go somewhere else. 3rd and long for EMU. Kim under duress again. Another underneath throw, and it is complete, but James Joyner Jr. is going to get wrapped up, and the Sharks deliver on defense.
Another tackle getting in there from Elijah Casey, the linebacker. So when he sees Joyner Jr. coming out, there's Casey, perfect spot. And while he doesn't necessarily bring him down, he holds him up long enough for the cavalry to arrive. Sharks defense is flying around.
Yeah, that defensive front, a lot of pressure on Noah Kim when he's back in the pocket.
And we heard all week about that defensive line and how well they did from Coach Ty Hammock, defense coordinator for Long Island.
Great punt. And a fair catch will down the ball at the 14-yard line as the Sharks are going to take the football. They're back on offense. They had one big play, 65 yards. The touchdown run by Ethan Greenwood. How about impact players now from Ryan on Long Island's offense and Eastern's defense?
Well, Deion Richardson has not made an impact yet today, but I expect him to.
On this play.
On this play, exactly. The wide receiver for Long Island, I expect him to be their best by the end of the season. And Javion Norman from the linebacker nickel position is a hard-hitting defensive back. Look for him to blitz and wreak havoc from the defensive side for Eastern.
Long Island from their 14. Oh, they're going to mix this up big time. A throwback to the quarterback, complete in space. This is Stanzani, and he is going to keep going. He's got room inside the 20, and finally taken down at the 12-yard line. Well, there is a method to their madness in mixing up those quarterbacks.
And you have to look at the personnel to see who actually takes it. It's Greenwood, who lined up as a wide receiver. Beautiful pass to Lucas Tazzani. And this is a really good athlete. I saw him start at quarterback last year against Northern Illinois. And Luca, although young in the program, can really move.
74 yards. One quarterback throws to another. Unconventional for sure. Now here's Greenwood under center. Oh, they're going to wrap. Oh, they got the ball handed off and didn't get much on that run. Ball started at the 12. They forced it ahead maybe for a yard or two.
Good penetration off the edge. It's Barry Manning on the safety blitz, but they handed the ball off.
That's O.J. Ross, formal name O'Shawn. But he goes by O.J. And we got a 2nd down and 10 from the 12-yard line. Greenwood.
He's going to run it.
He'll run it himself and gets a little bit of space inside the 10. Well, there's nothing more unnerving for a defensive coordinator than trying to manage your unit when you've got trick plays coming right and left. The first big play for Long Island, Ryan, not a trick play per se, but the last one was. And Eastern Michigan, you know, they're in a bad spot right now. Ball inside the 10. End of our first quarter here at the Factory. A 7-3 road lead for the Sharks from Long Island. More coming up from the Factory when we come back. Long Island starting with a big scoring run, and now they're in another good position. How about homecoming for this guy, LIU head coach Ron Cooper, coming back home after a long time away. He was an Eastern Michigan head coach back in the early 90s for 2 years, then moved on to Louisville, and now everything coming full circle.
Well, we had an opportunity to talk to Coach Coop this week, and he talked about the fond memories he had here. He still keeps in touch with a bunch of the players. You know, he coached Charlie Batch, L.J. Shelton, and a bunch of other future NFL guys.
Well, things look a little different now on the other sideline, and he's hoping they can cash in here. Throwing on the run, wide open in space, and pushed out of bounds. Nice catch there. That's Greenwood. Again, they continue to mix things up.
We've seen Stazani catch a pass in open field. Now we see, and from Greenwood, now we see Stazani throwing it to Greenwood, who looked like a wide receiver.
It's one thing to throw different quarterbacks under center. When you got quarterbacks throwing to other quarterbacks, that's a whole different dynamic. Certainly does keep you on your toes. The Sharks inside the 5, handoff, and not enough push there on the run. And they're going to drag him all the way back, but that's really nothing. That's O.J. Ross on the carry. Sterling Miles makes the stop, but Eastern's trying to tough it up here inside the 5-yard line.
It's a really good job. They got a lot of guys helping up. You mentioned Miles. Just a bunch of green jerseys getting in there.
Ugh.
Jalen Marshall again from the free safety spot, playing up at the line of scrimmage. There's Coach Coop, hoping to come away with 7 here.
Yeah. Quarterback keep, and end zone. Touchdown, that's Greenwood again. Rushing for his 2nd touchdown of the day.
Well, they kept running zone read, and they gave it, and they gave it, and Eastern Michigan pinching down in the center in the A-gaps. Greenwood sees it, keeps the football, able to dive into the green end zone off of the gray field. And Greenwood, 2 touchdowns early, and Long Island has shocked the crowd here in Ypsi.
Yeah, the Sharks are definitely not in the swamp tonight. 6 plays, 88 yards.
On the field is a touchdown. The previous play is under further review.
Okay, we'll take a look-see at that, but we'll continue with our read-through of the drive. 3 minutes, 31 seconds, and Ethan Greenwood, the 2-yard run. Let's see where they may have.
Yeah, Sterling Miles.
Yeah, I can see. Maybe that's worth a look-see. His right knee hit before he maybe got in the end zone. Let's see here, and boop. Well, that's tough.
Well, I haven't seen a camera angle yet that definitively shows that he was down. That one being slowed down might be the best.
This is a good one here, and yeah, but he's over.
I mean,
He's
his knee
over,
touches.
yeah,
I don't
right.
even know if it touches down behind the goal line.
I get it. I get it.
It almost lands in the end zone. This should be a quick review.
Yes.
After review, the ruling on the field is upheld. Touchdown, Long Island.
Well, Ron Cooper has been all over the college football landscape. And in talking to both coaches this week, Ryan, I guess the vibe that I think we got was Eastern Michigan really had more work to do because Long Island going to Florida, you know what's going to happen there. It's just a matter of, how drastic the winning and losing will be. But we've got Long Island on the right track. A 14-3 lead here at Eastern Michigan. The Eagles will have the football when we come back.
We're going to take a look at some of the key plays from that scoring drive where Long Island has caught Eastern Michigan off guard. A big reason is, what are they doing with their quarterbacks? They've got Stazani at wideout. He catches a pass from Greenwood, and then Stazani at quarterback hitting Ethan Greenwood. And while Greenwood threw it, he caught it. Ultimately, he runs it in for the short rushing touchdown, his second of the game. Ethan Greenwood is off to the start that the Sharks wanted him to have.
Yeah, indeed. And Eastern Michigan, you know, I'm not. Last week the problem was the missed tackles, and now you've got this unconventional offense that the Sharks are, you know, littered with gimmick and gadget plays that are problematic, to say the least.
Well, now it's two things: identify personnel and the formation, and where in that formation are the personnel, because they're being very unpredictable. And I don't think Eastern's defense is doing a good job of picking up who's on the field and in what positions.
Ball returned, pretty good return. Eastern Michigan's got Javen Norman on that special teams unit. And he returns it for the Eagles.
Side. Kicking team, number 13. That 5-yard penalty will be added to the end of the kick. First down.
We've had two
Eastern
offsides on kickoffs, right? If I'm counting?
Well, you're counting correctly.
Yes, okay.
You're always counting. It just isn't always the best counting.
No, that's
okay,
true.
Dan?
That's why it was kind of posed as a question.
Yeah.
I like how you caught that.
No, you're good.
Well,
so far.
Let's see what Eastern Michigan can do. They are trailing by 2 scores here early in our second quarter in the Eastern home opener. Kim, not much downfield. He'll run and get a few yards, but not much.
I think the offensive line for Eastern Michigan is giving Kim time. He's just having a real difficulty of finding open receivers. Now, that could be due to the coverage of Long Island or Eastern Michigan's receivers not creating that separation, and maybe even Noah Kim not seeing open receivers, but they have not been able to drive the football downfield to open receivers thus far.
That's a gain of 3. Feels like Eastern's been very pass-heavy so far in this game. Now, play fake. Kim's going to roll away from pressure. It is complete near side. Not a big splash, but Lockett on the grab for positive yardage, short of a first down by about a yard.
Terry Lockett is an elite-type receiver where when he catches the ball, watch him turn his shoulder and get to top speed in no time. He goes past the defensive back.
Good recognition by Kim to get that ball away quickly because that pressure was coming. 3rd and 1. They'll play fake. Kim running. And first down, a little bit more.
Long Island was putting everybody in the box, and you see the linebacker sneaking in as well. Jeremy McGourn was showing. And as soon as he saw the play fake, he turned his outside shoulder towards the center, and that's a keep read for Noah Kim, and he was able to get around the edge and beat McGurn to the first down sticks.
Straight drop for Noah, throwing and incomplete. Over the head of his intended receiver. That was way too high for Lockett.
Yeah, pretty good coverage. Look at that. Yeah,
and he got a late read on it, too.
He did. The ball came out a little bit late. That was Chase Davis in coverage. Lockett created separation once he started coming back to Noah Kim, but the ball was a little bit late and obviously a little bit high. And he's just got to trust Lockett there. Throw it as he's coming out of his break.
Yeah.
Lockett will get his head around and make a catch.
Eagles at their own 44. They've played from behind this entire game. Kim throwing. Far side is incomplete. Oh, he wanted his tight end. Or sorry, that's Nick Devereaux. And Devereaux just a little off target. Close.
Yeah, Noah Kim has just been a little bit off. Look what I'm talking about here. See how Devereaux has to come inside? If that ball is a little more right on the numbers, that's a first down. But Noah Kim has missed at about 3 times. But small misses are big deals when you're trying to complete passes and move the chains. And now it's 3rd and 10.
Kim will keep and got some room in the middle. Off he goes. And forced out after a big run, almost to the 35. Well, there's a little quarterback run action for you.
It designed. They sent McMillan behind the quarterback. He looked as if he was going to throw it to him, and the dedicated quarterback draw. Really nice job by Noah Kim, not only after he broke the plane to run and find open space, but to set it up and move the defense.
And props to Everett Small, who made the big block that sprung that 21-yard run, and they stay on the ground. Not a big hit on first down, but that's Dante McMillan on the carry for a couple.
Eastern Michigan this week, both head coach Chris Creighton and offensive coordinator Coach Pike said, we recruited Kim as a passing quarterback, but we didn't realize how good he is with his feet. He hasn't shown it yet, but he has it in his bag, and we just saw a glimpse of it there.
EMU inside the 35. Kim, a lot of time. He'll throw near sideline, wide open and caught in space and staying up. Touchdown, McMillan. Eastern Michigan hangs in and converts a 33-yard touchdown pass.
It's a really nice job again from Noah Kim, selling it and moving the defense with his eyes. Look where his eyes are. He's looking left, and he knows McMillan's wheeling up the right sideline, and by the time he throws it, there is nobody in the vicinity of Dante McMillan. Great effort at the end to get into the end zone, but it all starts with Noah Kim and where he's looking, because that's where the defense is going to go to.
Noah sold that very well. And Eastern Michigan back in business. The point after is good by Kessinger, and we will take a timeout here at the factory. A 33-yard touchdown throw from Kim to McMillan. More after this. Of ESPN College Football is all in one place this year with the all-new ESPN app. Unlock with the ESPN Unlimited plan or log in with your TV provider. And you won't miss plays like this if you've got the ESPN app. Noah Kim busting it out. The 8-play, 70-yard drive is finished off with the McMillan 33-yard touchdown catch.
Really nice work for the Eastern Michigan offense to get back on track, and they're starting to feel it a little bit. You can see the momentum. The question is, does it carry over to the defensive side of the ball, where the struggles quite frankly, have continued from last week.
Yeah, this is kind of like last week for Eastern, where they were always trying to play catch-up in that road game and never could get a lead. Then in the third quarter, everything kind of came off the wheels, but they want to get a lead in this game before halftime. So we'll see if the defense can kind of get settled in. But again, let's give credit to the Sharks. They will keep you off balance.
Going back to Eastern Michigan and their defensive coordinator, Ben Needham, he said they have so many formations and personnel issues it will make your head spin. I think he might even said, I think it should be illegal to do what they do because it's too difficult to game plan for. But thus far, it has been a recipe for success for Ethan Greenwood and Long Island's offense.
Greenwood under center. He'll step back and throw. Pressure is coming. He avoids one would-be tackler. Now he's got room up that sideline, and he takes the safety route into his own bench. But Eastern Michigan almost had a big play there.
Look at Hector Gonzalez, the true freshman, with great penetration. Greenwood somehow feels it, pirouettes out, and he's dangerous when he gets out into the open space.
You know, Gonzalez is a true freshman. We've already seen him make potentially 2 big plays.
I mean, he is very good at getting into the backfield from his defensive end position. Right now, Long Island's having trouble blocking Hector Gonzalez.
6'4", 246, but that dude can move. Now, quarterback keep again. He fakes the toss and runs into a pile of green jerseys. So Greenwood with a modest gain is going to bring up 3rd and maybe 5.
There's some fire coming from Messiah Blair, number 53. And Blair, number 53, from a very good high school in Detroit, Martin Luther King. Last week, he was one of the standouts. However, due to some hydration issues, didn't play in the second half. And Eastern Michigan, Coach Creighton, Coach Ben Needham on the defensive side, they both want to see a complete game out of Messiah Blair because they realize that his potential and his ceiling is very high.
3rd and 5. Big time test for EMU's defense. Greenwood's going to roll out. They're going to throw. They're going to complete. And that is a connection with Evan Brooks and a Long Island first down.
We've had a lot of receivers that are just wide open. What they did is they ran a rub route where the outside receiver came and basically blocked, but there's no flag, so he just got in the way of the defender, which allowed Brooks to become wide open in the flat.
That's a gain of 15. You can see that the Sharks are aiming for a big splash here at Eastern Michigan if they can generate a win tonight. 1st and 10 from their own 45. And they go wide. Greenwood carries and then slides for some positive yardage, almost a first down.
And Stazani, again, was the quarterback. Greenwood next to him, and their running option with Greenwood, but now his helmet's off, so at least there's some way to slow it down. Watch the tail end of this play here, Dan. Very strange, just the way he came down. His helmet didn't come off, so Greenwood took himself out of the game, and it's something to keep an eye on because it looked like he wasn't in danger of being hit, and he took himself down. But Stazani is going to stay in at quarterback.
Yeah, they're checking him out right now on the sidelines. Didn't look like it was too serious.
Long Island.
But the Sharks are going to call a
That's our 1/4
timeout. We will break here as well. 7:21 left in our second quarter, and the Sharks lead here at EMU. have seen a lot of wonderful things from Ethan Greenwood tonight for Long Island, but boy, if this turns out to be something major, this is a big loss for them.
Yeah, I certainly don't want to speculate. One thing that I notice is when he goes down, look at his right hand. He switches the football, and then his right hand goes to his right thigh. And you see him right now being worked on. And these guys here, the medical staff for Long Island, might get the MVP award if they can get Ethan Greenwood back on the field because he's been dynamic.
Yeah. So they roll with Lucas Stanzini at quarterback. And nothing really happening on that run. They are moving closer to midfield, but Lucas Stanzani from Clearwater, Florida, a redshirt junior.
Very athletic player is Luca. But a little element of surprise is taken away from Long Island without Greenwood in there.
For sure. Lucas winds up deep throw in the middle, incomplete. A little too much heat on that throw.
Yeah, very, just too much overthrown.
Jaden Simpson.
Yeah, just overthrown too much, but, you know, frankly, Stazani hasn't had a lot of reps in this game. He's got a live arm, but I don't think that Jaden Simpson has the vertical to go get that one.
No. So Will Lynch tried to punt for Long Island. EMU's return man will let it go, and it'll get down to about the 20. So, good things happening for Eastern Michigan. They move the Sharks offense off the field. Of course, we'll try to monitor the Ethan Greenwood injury. But for now, Eastern Michigan can see if they can build on what their offense is doing and get a lead in this football game. Eagles coming in 1st and 10. Here's the MAC schedule coming up next weekend. All these games available on your ESPN Plus platforms. Ball State at home, and then Toledo and Bowling Green in home action. Kim throwing near side, complete, Lockett. And he turns it inside, positive gain, maybe 6 yards.
They've had more success throwing the football to those short routes on first down rather than running the football. But if they're going to give that sort of cushion to Terry Lockett Jr., you got to get him the football. Good things usually happen when he has it in his hands.
Kim throwing, zip pass in the middle, connecting to the tight end. That's Tanner LeMaster. Eastern Michigan catching the Sharks a little off balance in this up-tempo passing game, gain of 12.
And I like what they're doing. You know, they're using a number of players. Last week, they completed the footballs to 10 different Eagles. And when they spread it around, it makes their offense less predictable.
Handoff, McMillan in the middle, outside to the 42.
It also opens up the run game. You know, you start throwing the football, lessens them up a little bit on the defensive line. Linebackers are thinking less about coming up. Kevin Bork with the tackle from the linebacker position.
EMU has been trailing this entire football game, but maybe a little momentum shift. Kim, pump fakes, now deep throw, wide open. Oh, he led him too far. Terry Lockett had space, could not quite get there.
Beautiful route by Terry Lockett Jr. to create that separation and get behind the defense. And Kim knows he has him. You see a little pump fake on the double move.
That ball's just hanging in the air. Former quarterback. I mean, you had a great arm. I don't know if you could throw a ball like that, but when that ball is leaving your hand and you're thinking in your mind, hey, is this going to be a completion or not? That's a kind of an anxious moment, right? Did I make the right throw or did I lead him too far?
For me, it was, am I picking the right prayer to say right now?
And they go the other side, and that's a completion. Yeah, Ben Prosper on that grab.
You know, that long pass by Noah Kim, I'd like to see him put a little more air underneath.
Yeah.
it. Let him run underneath.
Right.
When it's that flat, it makes it more difficult because you're either going to hit it or you're not. Whereas if the ball's under, even if it's underthrown, that receiver has the advantage because the defensive back's back is to the quarterback, so he can't see the ball because he's trailing and chasing. So even if it's underthrown, Lockett can put his foot in the ground, go up and get it.
EMU's got a punt on 4th down. The drive stalls, but they were close. And the Sharks let it go, and it's a touchback. And now, again, we'll try to keep tabs and see what's happening with Ethan Greenwood. Again, he left early, or he left in the last series with what looked to be a non-contact injury, and for now, we only see Lucas Stanzani coming out here to run the offense for Long Island, and there's Greenwood, no helmet. That's not a good sign.
When he's not carrying his helmet, it's a terrible sign. You know, anytime, when you don't have your helmet near you, you're not ready to go in the football game. Now, the question is, did the trainers take it from him?
Stanzani hands off on 1st down, and they get good yardage up the middle. O.J. Ross getting some touches. But again, just the loss of that one player, Greenwood, changes the whole philosophy of what Long Island has been doing well so far today. So it's not just that you lose the player, you lose kind of the whole mystery part of what you do. Gain of 6 on 1st down. Sharks keep it on the ground, and Eastern Michigan able to slow that run.
Going back to the injury to Greenwood, if your offensive coordinator, Court Shankweiler, up here in the booth, you're probably taking a red pen and just crossing off a bunch of plays. That's out, that formation's out. It's because that guy is out. So much of what they do is predicated on the skill set and the versatility of Ethan Greenwood.
So 3rd down and 2. We are inside 3 minutes left to go in our 2nd quarter. Long Island has led the entire game. Quarterback keep. Now they toss, and that's going to get a 1st down, but that was a tough run. Ross on the carry for the 1st down. EMU almost stopped it.
Well, this is an excellent job of running the option because Stanzani takes that defensive end and doesn't allow him to play him and Ross. Joshua Scott comes up to make the hit, but not before Ross gets 1st down yardage. Not a lot of teams run the option. First of all, it's hard for a quarterback to do, and second of all, you're putting your quarterback in harm's way when you run that play. But, I mean, outside of Army and Navy.
This is a 2-minute timeout.
2 minutes left in our 2nd quarter. We'll break here at Eastern Michigan. The Sharks lead the Eagles by 4.
And Ethan Greenwood himself he's always a question mark when he's not going on the field because you never know what he's going to do or how he's going to do it.
The Sharks starting from the 35. They will run around the end, and they will get some big run. They do not mix things up, and Dion Richardson is the carrier there for a first down, a run for 19 yards.
We heard all week from the coaches about how special Dion Richardson is. They have not been able to get him the football in the passing game, so they give him a end around to the wide receiver to try to get him in space. They say he has elite top-level speed, and he was about a tackle away from showing us what that looks like.
The Sharks are at the EMU 46. And they switch things up. Stanzani's going to throw back. Same play, different receiver. They complete it. Forced out of bounds is Chris Howell. They ran the exact same play. They just changed personnel, and a big Sharks first down.
Well, they put the quarterback, Stanzani, who's taken all of the snaps since Greenwood went down, and they put him at running back and bring in the backup quarterback. And, you know, that seems to be tipping your hand a little bit that there could be some trickery involving those two.
Gain of 32 yards, and boy, does that set up Long Island. They are in the red zone at the EMU 13-yard line. Now they'll get buried in the backfield. Eastern Michigan, big props to Javian Norman, who crashed in there and stopped it. That's a 2-yard loss.
And Norman was one of the impact players for us because he's a former linebacker who moved back a row to free safety. Linebacker in high school for Mo Douglas at Springfield in Ohio.
Stanzani. Whoa, look at all that open field in front of him. He's going to pump fake and go off and sneak out inside the 10, down to about the 7. That's a good gain for the Sharks.
This was...
Take what the defense gives you, right?
Well, they had a lot of options of what to give him. They had 2 receivers over there, 1 DB covering him. Watch when the back comes out, there's nobody on him, and there's nobody pursuing to get Stanzani. It just was a strange defensive play where Long Island had them outflanked, and if you almost think that if Stanzani just pulled it and ran, it would have been an even bigger game.
So it's 3rd down and 3. The Sharks are at the 6-yard line. On the opening drive of the second half, Stanzani throws and incomplete. Oh, he just could not quite hold on to it. That's Caleb Coley. Just couldn't squeeze it. Oh, that would have been big.
Well, Coley comes off.
And that throw was terrible.
Yeah, he was trying to get to Richardson, and it was... When you say they're not on the same page, I'm not sure they were reading the same book.
Oh, I was wondering why you'd roll that one out there.
That was sitting in my back pocket.
There we go.
Partner.
There we go. That means a field goal opportunity here for Lance Mayberg. And it's a relative chip shot, and it's blocked. Oh, Eastern Michigan dodged a bullet. Oh, that series looked like it was going to be a disaster, and they hold, serve, and allow nothing on the board.
Take it.
Oh, well, you know what? I'm gonna say Eastern did half the job. Anytime you pause and restart, you got trouble. Eastern football when we come back.
Dan, when an extra point or a field goal looks good, it looks easy. But the reality is if there's anything wrong about that operation, they're creatures of habit, kickers, holders, centers, and they do something so many times that if there's anything that breaks that routine, it's going to set it off in a bad direction. And that time, Mayberg took a step, hesitated, and then tried to finish the kick. And as a result, there were about 3 Eagles ready to block that kick, which they did.
So EMU with a little bit of a spark here. Can their offense deliver? Kim rolls out, and he'll throw, and it is complete in traffic. That is not easy, but instead it's a catch for Eastern Michigan. Terry Lockett on the grab, and the Eagles are hurry up and go on offense after that first down.
They had a lot of success in the first half with this high NASCAR tempo.
Ooh, running. That's McMillan. Not much.
That's a nice play defensively by Rafael Fasolino. Not quite another tackle for loss, but look at number 20 cut into the picture and shut him down. Man, he's quick.
Only a gain of 1 there for McMillan. Eagles on second down. They're on the ground, and this time it's Dunlap on the carry. Not much there, which is going to bring up 3rd and long.
Javier Dunlap has not been able to find much running space, and some of it might be because of that guy, Rafael Fasolino, with another tackle.
Are you wanting him to make tackles just so you can keep saying his name?
I do like it.
I think you like the name, yes.
Fasolino.
3rd and long, EMU. Kim under duress, and he'll just unload and almost caught. That was a tough throw, but boy, I tell you what, he had 2 guys coming right after him. Joshua Long, it was the intended wideout, but credit Long Island's pass rush here.
Well, look at the coverage by Rafael Fasolino. Right on the big fella, knocks it away. I mean, that is textbook from a linebacker.
Yeah.
And he had to climb the ladder. Josh Long is 6'5", 250. From El Camino Community College. Fasolino is showing up today.
Mitchell Thomasek on to punt for Eastern. As their drive stalls. Oh, terrible punt. See if they get a good hop out of it. They do, so it won't look quite as bad in the stat sheet, but that is one he would like to have back. We'll take a timeout. Long Island football when we continue here at Eastern Michigan.
Media.
Dan, we've been questioning the effectiveness of the Long Island offense without Ethan Greenwood, and we got some answers. Stanzani to Chris Howell, more quarterback-to-quarterback connections, and then Lucas Stanzani uses his feet. So we're seeing that they can continue to move the ball against Eastern Michigan, but once again, the story of this drive wasn't them moving it, but their inability to finish the drive because of the problems Long Island had with the field goal unit.
Yeah, you cannot let scoring chances like that just kind of fly away in the night. You got to get points when you can get them, and now Eastern Michigan will have to try to ride their defense again to slow down Long Island. Stanzani, oh, they screen and they complete and they get good yardage there. Boy, Eastern Michigan brought some pressure, but the screen pass set up nicely for O.J. Ross, and they turn that into positive yardage.
This was actually a great play call because you see the pressure coming from off the end. Stanzani's patient. Nice job defensively by 55, Makai Gilbert, to stay with Ross, get outside leverage, and force him back in.
You could see Caleb Coley's eyes light up. He thought, I got a free run here.
He did.
Sharks had thought otherwise, and complete. And they're out to the 31-yard line. Hey, quarterback keep. They fake the option. Oh, good ankle tackle there in space on Stanzani.
Here's a triple option. He gives the ride to the fullback. Great block on the edge. And that's Javion Norman coming up to make the hit. Again, a linebacker in high school, usually you see them moving up. So safeties move to linebackers move to defensive ends, but Norman went back to free safety. He still has linebacker tendencies when coming up on the run, but this offseason he's really improved his coverage skills.
A first down get for the Sharks. And Stanzani, there's an option. Oh, that ball was a little hard to handle. They get positive yardage, though.
Marco Paterno, the linebacker, is getting to Stanzani. It's just a little bit too late. Yeah. He's the one that laid the hit on Stanzani, but it allowed him to get the pitch and then more yards. And you look at those numbers, nothing really flashy jumps out at you there. 5 for 10, 59 yards.
And again, a reminder, Stanzani has been the full-time quarterback since the injury to Ethan Greenwood. Greenwood left in the second quarter. He is now in street clothes, so he'll be a non-factor the rest of tonight. And Stanzani, they go option again. That ball is mishandled, recovered. And again, that's Cam Ingram on the carry, but it's getting a little choppy in there for Long Island.
Well, look at number 1, Josh Scott. He just comes in and gets Stanzani right away. So they're now blitzing the option. And when you have pressure on you like that as a quarterback, it's more of a blind pitch, and that way it can go errant, which it did on that play.
3rd down and 7. Big test for EMU. Ball just inside the 40-yard line. Stanzani, tight pocket, incomplete. Looking for Dozier, but wasn't there. Javion Norman on the coverage.
Stanzani threw it, and it hits Dozier right in the hands. Norman right on his back, showing off some of those coverage skills we just spoke to.
Juan Salas, the return man, standing deep at his own 20-yard line for EMU. And a short punt by design to not be returned. So that ball is going to be down at about the 26. And Noah Kim's going to come back on for Eastern Michigan and try to rev the engines on offense. Eastern Michigan, they have been in a lot of close games. One possession games since 2016. They're not at number 1, but they're pretty close. And batting about, that's quite a few. And not quite at 500. So
I mean, 57.
Yeah.
That is a lot of
That
games.
is a lot. Kim will keep on first down and squeeze about 4 yards out to the 30-yard line. They mark it at the 29. Yeah, the Eastern coaches told us this week, Ryan, they love the footwork that Noah Kim has, an extra dimension they didn't necessarily see. Play fake, Kim throwing, batted away. Oh man, that could have been really bad for Eastern.
Nice job by Jeremy McKern getting the passing lane. Look at number 1.
Oh, right there.
Right to his
At
hands.
the number.
Yeah. Jalen Bell was right behind him as well, and he's more saying, if you didn't touch that, I had an interception. But
3rd down and 8.
McGurn's been physical. He's had a nice afternoon.
See what the Sharks bring defensively here. Kim's going to have to roll away from pressure, and oh, that was dangerous. It was Terry Lockett in the vicinity, but that ball did not have a lot of zip on it. And Eastern Michigan's going to have to punt.
One thing I noticed Noah Kim doing is fading away. So that defensive end was being blocked by the left tackle, Mac Indestead. But as Kim retreats backwards, that allows the defensive end to get off the block and in his face, whereas if he would have slid up inside and put Indestead in between himself, he would have been more centered and had a better chance to deliver the ball downfield.
So Tomasek will punt, and the Sharks will probably get good field position. Tomasek's last punt was no good. This one is way better. Fielded fair catch inside the 20 at the 17. Timeout here at Eastern. Long Island with a lead on the Eagles. Next Saturday, we've got 3 action games for you. Ball State goes first, then Toledo. And Bowling Green is at home against Liberty to finish things off. That's all next Saturday on ESPN+. We have a close game here at the Factory at Rynerson Stadium. The Sharks have been putting some pressure on EMU all night long. Play fake, blitz coming, and pass is complete in open space to Dion Richardson, and he stumbles ahead beyond the 35. Boy, Eastern's pressure is coming just a step too late.
A big reason for that is they're not getting pressure at the line of scrimmage. They have to do exotics and blitzes to get home, so they're bringing cornerbacks. Stanzani's doing a good job of identifying where the pressure's coming and replacing that defender with the football, and that time Dion Richardson was wide open.
That's a gain of 18. But again, Stanzani under duress. On the ground in the middle. That's maybe a yard or two for Cam Ingram.
Zach Mochan with the tackle. That was one of the hardest fought 2-yard gains I've seen. Cam Ingram had absolutely nowhere to run. Somehow muscled his way for a couple. Mochan is a player that Coach Ben Needham described as maybe he's too athletic as a linebacker. And that could have to do with over pursuing, but that time he was right where he needed to be. Came up with a big hit.
2nd down and 8. Stanzani fakes the handoff and runs, and he gets good yardage, tackled from behind, right at the 1st down marker.
Mochan with another tackle, sorry.
Yeah, good job moving his feet.
Yeah, he looks like he's all but stopped right here.
Yeah, then he spins away, lost his towel, but kept his feet going. 3rd down and 1, that's a gain of 7 yards.
When your quarterback is running that hard and breaking tackles, it inspires an offense.
And Stanzani's not that big, 5'11", 185, so that's not the kind of body that can take a lot of hits. Now they'll toss it back in the middle. This is a big run. They've got Ross going down to the 20. Correction. They got Dozier. They redirect on the toss in the middle, and off he goes for a gain of 34.
Yeah, they had the big tight end, Jaden Dozier, 6'5", 213. He's lined up on the slot to the left, and Stanzani shuffle passes it to him. Good block coming across. I think that was Donnie Harden. And the big tight end rumbles into the red zone of Eastern.
6'5", 213 pounds. When he gets all that mass moving forward, look out. And there we go with a traditional run that gets a big fat 0. Maybe a loss of a 2-yard or 2.
Cam Ingram again. He's not afraid. Another towel down. He just tossed that to the side casually. Take a look at those passing yards. You know, a lot of the news coming in was about Noah Kim. He went for 248 last week, but it's Long Island outpacing the Eagles through the air.
Yeah, Eastern really was pretty happy with getting 27 points in that road loss last week, but they have not had that kind of explosion today. Loss of 2 on 1st down. They throw in the flat and complete it. Ball is juggled out of bounds, but that's a completion. Another hook up there with Cam Ingram. Paterno on the tackle.
When your running back's wide open in the flat, just get him the football. Petrino was covering Ingram from the center of the field. Took him a little while to get there and guide him out of bounds. That's a good gain on 2nd down to make it 3rd and manageable.
Eastern Michigan's defense had to block a kick in order to keep Long Island from scoring in this quarter, but the Sharks are on the move in the red zone again. 3rd and 5 from the 15.
Timeout. Long Island.
Sharks are going to call a timeout.
Should be a 30-second timeout.
Well, it's a whole different vibe for Ron Cooper and Long Island this week. Last week in the Swamp, you kind of knew how that game was going to go from the opening kick. This game, though, they've had the lead, they've held the lead, and they probably figure this is a game that's very much within their reach.
The good thing when you go and play a team like Florida away is while you might not go in expecting to win, you're going to find out a lot about yourself. And one of the things Coach Ron Cooper found out is that his offensive line stepped up, they handled the adversity, and they played very well. And these are 5 new guys from last year. 3 players from the roster a year ago are now playing FBS, 2 of them starting. So Long Island's done a good job of developing offensive linemen. And I think the offensive line as a complete 5-in-1 unit has played very well against a very good defensive front of Eastern Michigan.
3rd down here. They will run wide, and they will get a 1st down. They continue to put pressure in the run game as Dion Richardson carries it for a Sharks 1st down. The drive continues.
This is a speedster that they think may be the best wide receiver on the roster. He's a graduate transfer from Division III Stevenson, and he's showing that his talent and skill set translates up a couple levels.
Sharks inside the 10, 1st and goal at the 8. Same little shovel toss, that's complete. Not a big game though. They go back to Jerron Kelly.
And Kelly's even bigger.
Yeah.
Standing 6'7".
Oh.
I'm not taking him into the post anytime soon.
No let up in size. And they are inside the 5, just outside the 3.
And what makes that play work is the play side where Kelly's running. You let that defensive end get upfield and you shovel past it and he cuts up underneath him. So he's essentially, the D end is blocking himself.
Stanzani hands off, they plow up the middle and get very close to the goal line. Ingram on the carry, not quite there.
See that offensive line, you see Sean Broderick, Jacoby Krill, the talented center Grayson Lewis. Look at the push they get up front. I mean, look where these offensive linemen are ending up, right by the goal line. And they're gonna let it go to the quarter and flip fields.
And the Sharks are gonna start this 4th quarter at Eastern with a lot of excitement as they are knocking on the door, trying to make this a 2-score game.
On the field.
We will break here at Eastern Michigan. Our 4th quarter is next. Long Island leading EMU 14-10. One. Eastern looks like they're going to go for it. They are going to go for it. They didn't get it. They did not get it on 4th down. Oh, man.
You know who made that tackle? Rafael Fasolino. Another tackle for loss. Look at number 20. He fought through the offensive lineman to get there. Look at 20, come through here. He gets chipped and still gets in on the lower half of the running back and brings him down. And what a turn of events here in Ypsilanti.
Oh, boy, I tell you, that is a disaster for Eastern Michigan. They turned the ball over, and Long Island starting this drive at the Eastern 14. Man.
Pure football player is Rafael Fasolino.
Boy, the Sharks, they're jumping like kangaroos on the sideline over there. Stanzani keeps, and he's got space in front of him. Touchdown, Long Island. He went on cruise control from 19 yards out. Touchdown.
It was the triple option again. Puts the ball in the fullback's stomach, pulls it. The defense takes away the pitch back. So Stanzani hits the lane and goes untouched into the end zone from 19 yards.
Oh, the Sharks just threw a big-time haymaker. The seam was there, and he just blew right into it. PAT coming here from Lance Mayberg. We haven't called his name much today, but Norman for 36 yards on the return. He is a breath of fresh air on special teams for EMU. So, it's all great unless your offense builds off of it. You cannot have setbacks like what happened on that 4th and 1. Kim will throw. Boy, plenty of time there, and he hits the wide open tight end Joshua Long into Long Island territory.
Pass protection was beautiful, and Kim hung in there looking and finding his big tight end.
That's a gain of 19. Now they hand off. McMillan's got space. Far side, stays up. One man to beat. He's going to go. He got it. Oh, Eastern Michigan, 40 yards on that touchdown run. And Dante McMillan, like a lightning bolt, the Eagles are back in this game.
We just talked about the offensive line and pass protection. How about the run block to give Dante McMillan a crease? And once he got to the second level, he did it all himself from there, stepping out of a tackle around the 10-yard line to finish the job on the 40-yard touchdown.
You know, sometimes, Ryan, we like those games that are a little bit slower paced, especially in the fourth quarter. You know, things are winding down. I don't think that's what we're going to have tonight. You got to be on your toes.
They're going for 2.
Low snap, Kim. Little shovel toss. That is to the tight end Long. He won't get it unless he gets a giant push. Long Island stops him there. That's probably a good call. I mean, a good call in terms of going for 2. Here's the run. McMillan, see ya.
Beautiful job by Dante McMillan. And look at the point of attack. Look at the offensive lineman getting out in front. Joshua Anderson with a key block.
What a great move there.
Yep. Look at that offensive line. Just moving the line of scrimmage forward. You see Sharks laying all over the field. Fancy footwork from McMillan. I like how he puts his foot in the ground too and gets north and south.
All right, here's the 2-point try that did not succeed.
Take a look at number 24, Joey Matter going in motion. Look at who's around him in that corner. But it's a designed shovel pass, so they give it to Josh Long. That wasn't there, but Joey Matter in the corner was wide open. But
That's
again,
just way too much traffic in there for that play to work. But okay. Okay, so kind of a, hey, look, it's a 1-score game. Okay. And it happened quickly. Even better for Eastern Michigan. Got a lot of time left in this game.
So Luca Stanzani came in relief of Ethan Greenway, and it's been his offense, and he is dazzled. Pass to another quarterback, Chris Howell up the sideline. He's just done a nice job of sharing the football, spreading it around, and taking what the defense gives him.
We thought they would be in big trouble when Greenwood had to leave with that, looked like a leg injury in the second quarter. Let's see what they can cook up now with a little bit of momentum shifting to Eastern Michigan. How about this run on first down? They go all the way to the first down marker. Cam Ingram just about a yard short. Boy, I tell you, This game feels like kind of a last possession. Who's got the ball? Eastern right now, they'll just set up for taking a lead, which they have not had all night. The Sharks with Lucas Stanzani at their 34 on the ground, and they run into a pile of green jerseys. That is a first down, though, for the Sharks.
They got just enough. I can't say enough about this offensive line and how well they've played together for Long Island. Again, 5 new guys. Left tackle James Delva, transferred from Division II American International. His last college game was against Southern Connecticut State, where American lost 50-21. That was last year, and then his next college game is against Florida in the Swamp.
That's a big jump.
I'd say so.
From the 36. And they stay on the ground, they stay in the middle, and there is absolutely nowhere to go. That's McKee Gilbert on the stop, and Eastern Michigan is trying to rev it up on offense. That was Cam Ingram on the carry, but that was a nothing burger for them.
Gilbert at times tonight has been unblockable. 6'2", 265, transfers from Samford, and he's been very good in the interior of Eastern Michigan's defensive front.
So, 2nd down and 12 after that loss. They stay on the ground, and Ingram will get tackled after maybe a 2-yard gain. Good coverage there by Eastern Michigan. The second tackler got it.
Look at the pressure. When a stretch run, you got to get him to turn back inside, and then the help comes from the interior.
Big, big play coming here for Eastern Michigan. This crowd is all in now.
They're starting to feel it.
Yeah. Can the Eagles rise to the moment defensively on this big 3rd down and 9? Stanzani gonna try and throw. They flush him. He's gonna go for the marker himself, and he gets it, and he stays up, and he's tackled at the 45. They could not contain him. I think we've got an injured Eastern Michigan player to boot.
Officials timeout for a defensive injury.
13, Marshall with the tackle.
Yeah, the tackler is the one who took the injury.
That's Jason Marshall, who's played very well.
Oh. That is so frustrating for a defensive coach when all you're telling your guys is contain, 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 and they don't.
Well, it's hard when you have a quarterback with
That's
the
true.
athletic ability
Right.
of Lucas Stanzani. But it's also disheartening when you get him in 3rd and 8, the crowd's into it. This is a big stop. You have all the momentum because you just drove down and scored. And it's been a battle of momentum back and forth. And then Stanzani pops a 16-yarder.
Gain of 16, and yes, that's going to set this crowd's temperature down a little bit.
Now in Eagles territory.
Yeah. And again, there's 8.5 minutes left. We got a lot of football to go here, but Eastern Michigan cannot afford to let this become a 2-score game again. So you got to keep that visitor score at 21. Ball is at the 46-yard line. And Lucas Stanzani has really handled offensively for Long Island since he's taken over full time. He'll run there and he'll get crunched after a couple of yards.
Did a nice job, though, of turning what looked like a tackle for loss into some positive yardage. There's Bryce Llewellyn, came up from the bandit spot to shut down Stanzani. Look, right here, he's caught in the backfield and he steps out of it and creates a positive gain.
Gain of 3 yards. The Sharps would love to take as much clock as they can right here. Stanzani, they hand off to the first guy up the middle. That's O.J. Ross, who turns it back inside, and it is a first down for Long Island.
It's almost as if Eastern Michigan's having a hard time identifying who the ball carrier is. They're keying on Stanzani, and it's their right tackle, Sean Broderick, who's down right now. This is only his second college football game. Again, last week was Florida. I may have said 5 starters, new starters this year. There's 2 returners. Donnie Harden, who's playing left guard. It's his 4th year as a starter. He transferred in from Alabama when Coach Cooper came to Long Island. And, of course, there's center Grayson Lewis, who's played so well tonight. The coaching staff thought that Lewis last week against Florida played the best game of his collegiate career, and this is his 3rd year as a starter. So I think Grayson Lewis has stepped it up a level, another notch here in 2025 with his offensive line play.
And credit to him, because a lot of times in a game that is that lopsided, you think, hey, it's just burn the film. But instead, the coaches continue to, kind of microscope everything that's done. And when you can pull out positives from a game like that that's so one-sided, that's really kind of a value add to your program in general.
Absolutely. And you have to do that with a program like Long Island. No disrespect to them, but they're an FCS team, and they're facing one of the best FBS teams in the Florida Gators. So, on paper, you know what it's supposed to look like, and on film, you're looking for those positives that you just mentioned.
So we are in store for a big finish here. The clock rolling. Long Island trying to keep their offense on the field here. They have led from the opening kickoff. Stanzani hands off. They go with Ross again. And again, I think the emphasis is going to be on the running game here. Stay in bounds, let the clock roll.
That's an excellent gain on first down.
Right.
Brings up 2nd and 6 anytime.
You could bag 3 yards on a run. You're going to do pretty well here.
Another tackle for Messiah Blair. Playing the max position, and that's spelled with 2 X's after Max Crosby, who the field is now dedicated to.
And he's coming back this year. Stanzani on the end, and he gets taken down, but he's close to the 1st-yard marker. Maybe by a couple of yards, and he stays in bounds.
Yeah, Messiah Blair again there, but you're right. Right now, the clock and keeping it moving is the friend of Long Island.
You go nowhere near the sidelines. Ooh, he got crunched, but.
Yeah, Barry Manning in run support as well, number 3. And then Messiah Blair, who moves real well for a 6'7", 235-pounder.
Third down, Eastern Michigan trying to rev it up. And pass is complete. Boy, that was well played and executed. On the catch, it's Deion Richardson for another Long Island first down.
Well, Stanzani gets the ball out right away. It's on time and it's on target. And Richardson moves the chains. Look he knows what he wants. He finds him open and he gets the ball out. And that's so important for a quarterback to be able to get the ball out as soon as you identify an open receiver, because you want to get the ball in Deion Richardson's hands. He's a special player that can do special things when he has the football. Love this drive right now for Long Island. They are putting it together and they're in rhythm.
Stanzani hands off. They do nothing special with it, but pound it inside. They just want to keep that clock moving.
It's Warren Stephen Taylor in on the tackle.
4.5 minutes left here in Eastern Michigan. This is a game that Long Island has led from the first score of the game. They lost one of their premier players on offense, Ethan Greenwood. He left in the second quarter. And since then, it's been this guy, Lucas Stanzani, who's been a man on a mission. And they wrap it up there. Still some positive yardage, but not much for Dion Richardson.
And that's Carter Evans wearing the number 0 tonight, one of their standout defensive ends. He's a 4-year player for Coach Creighton. He's came here since high school, and he's one of the guys that he identified after last week who is a vocal leader who can keep his team accountable and hold them accountable, because he knows what the expectations of this program are because he grew up in it. Not a portal guy is what I mean.
Which is rare. All right, 3rd and 11. Well, EMU is
Timeout.
going to
Long
let
Island.
Long Island take a timeout.
That's their second and a half. This will be a
And
30-second
this is a
timeout.
very important play coming up here, 3:19. Any points the Sharks generate on this drive are going to be really problematic for Eastern Michigan.
What's going to be interesting is the discussion going on right now. The offense coordinator, Court Shankweiler, Coach Cooper told us this week the comfortability for their kicker on a field goal is about a 35-yarder, which means they have to get to the 18-yard line. They've already had trouble with an extra point tonight. Obviously, 3 points extends this lead to 8, which would be ideal. However, the ball right now resting on the 22-yard line. So, do they worry about playing this as if it's a 4-down situation and they got 2 plays to get 10? Or are they looking to get a chunk, 4 or 5 yards, and get them into field goal range?
Here's Lucas Stanzani on this drive. Fancy footwork. The big run. Helping the Sharks control this drive. And then he gets help from O.J. Ross. And then this critical 3rd down completion. That really helps the Sharks right now. 3rd and 11. Stanzani throws it up, underthrows, and they haven't signaled catch. I got it. Well, that's a tough look from where we're at. But Jaden Simpson somehow caught this ball. Oh, wow. Yeah, that might be the better angle. Wow, was that tough. Boy, that ball left his fingertips. It didn't look like that was going to be anything catchable.
What a catch for a true freshman.
Yeah.
Staying local, so to speak. A different borough, but he's from Brooklyn, New York.
16 yards on the gain. Boy, you know your New York geography. Nice job there.
I do.
Pretty good.
I can't spell borough, but I know what they are.
Oh, and the Sharks are in good shape now. They'll run, and they will pound it in the middle. Ross on the carry inside the 5. And now it gets really dangerous for Eastern Michigan.
And they're going to take a timeout.
Yeah.
Eastern Michigan. Their first of the half. This will be a 30-second timeout.
Well, I'll tell you, let's take a look at that catch again. It was, again, we kind of did not have a good angle to see it from the booth here, but this is a better look. He had to come back, he had to stretch out, and somehow he kept that ball in his hands. That's something.
That is a big-time catch in a big-time situation. Great job getting his hands underneath the football, watching it in. Jaden Simpson, Long Island might have something here with Simpson, Richardson on the other side.
That is Eastern Michigan's second timeout.
Yeah, so 1 timeout remaining for both teams. You know, Dan, I always say timeouts are currency, and now is where you really get to appreciate it, because they have the 2-minute timeout, but you want to have an extra one there. Time of possession.
Ooh, very much in favor of the Sharks. That tells you kind of why this game is tipped the way it is, or tilted the way it is. 2nd and goal. The Sharks on the ground. That's Ross down to about the 2.
This is familiar. Remember, we were just in this spot, and Eastern Michigan was able to hold them. They went for it on third and fourth, and it was right about the same part of the field.
We'll break here at EMU. Long Island leading in the fourth quarter. And they're going to have 2 plays here to run, so they can. And I don't think he got touched. Stanzani wants the edge, turns it inside. There he goes, touchdown. Wow. And I don't think he got touched.
Luca Stanzani was stretching it out, put his left foot in the ground as soon as he saw a crease and got north and south. And all the Michigan State defenders are flowing to their right. And look at Stanzani, beautiful blocking. That's just a great piece of work.
Well, you know, what a credit to that young man, because we said, and correctly, Ethan Green would lead Sharks with a huge road win. Be hard at all for Ron. The last time Eastern Michigan lost to an FCS school was all the way back in 2012 against Illinois State. And this will be hard for Chris Creighton, but it will not be hard at all for Ron Cooper, who comes back to Eastern Michigan and his Sharks with a huge road win. And they will celebrate all the way back to Long Island. Tremendous. (28-23) is your final score. The first time ever the Sharks have taken a win on an FBS team. They've been outscored a whole bunch, but boy, that trip back to Long Island is going to be like they're floating on air.
Well, you mentioned Ron Cooper. He was the head coach here from 93 to 94. During that stretch, he was 8-15, and when he left to go take the head coaching job at Louisville, I don't know that he ever thought he'd get another win at Eastern Michigan's field. But here he is returning back to somewhat of his head coaching roots and coming away with the biggest win in Long Island football history.
A very exciting game. Thanks so much to my partner, Ryan Cavanaugh, and our top-tier production crew. We had a great game, and we hope you all enjoyed it as well. For Ryan Cavanaugh, I'm Dan Gutowski. Our final score here at Eastern Michigan. The Long Island Sharks beat Eastern 28-23. This has been a presentation of ESPN.